I was booked for makeup by a ritualist who's also a very prominent pastor. Story time. My high school friend had a cousin who was getting married, so in this case we'll call my friend Fatima, and then her cousin who was getting married will just refer to her as the bride. She recommended me for makeup because we had been friends for a while and she really believed that I was good at what I did. And also, who doesn't want to be recommended? Immediately I was recommended, the bride ended up texting me. She told me she wanted to book for a number of 8, and then they had to be at the wedding ceremony at 6 because they follow a queue of brides, so if you're late then you would have to be pushed all the way back. Just from that you can tell that timing was very important for this bridal party, and seeing that there were 8 and they had to be ready at 6, it meant that I had to start working as early as 24. All my booking procedures were done and was set, just waiting for the actual day. But funny enough, 3 days to the event I started having a very weird feeling about this event. Honestly, it was just that intrinsic feeling telling me that I shouldn't go for this booking. Something just felt weird, but you know how it is when your instincts are telling you something, you have no proof, you obviously just put them aside. And this is exactly what I did, and that was mistake number 1. And to be honest, 8 people is quite a lot, so I needed the money that would come from there because I would make a good buck. 8 clients in one day. So let me also mention that initially this booking was supposed to take place at my friend's place, Fatima, who's also the person that recommended me to the bride, who's also the bride's cousin. Please don't get lost. But then as the days drew closer, the location was changed because Fatima's place was a little bit too small for us to be occupied. Remember, we are 8 of us. Plus myself, it meant 9 people, and the house just wasn't working. It was suggested that we move to the bride's grandmother's place, who's also my friend's grandma. Unfortunately, this place was so far from the previous location that was supposed to do the booking from. But anyway, I had already accepted the booking. I don't just afford to disappoint my bride last minute. That's not the kind of MUA that I am. I found it to be a bit risky to move at 24, so I decided at 22 p.m. I decided to start off and go over to the bride's grandmother's place where they were getting ready from, so that once it's 24 we'd start working. And also this would give me enough time to set up, let the girls shower, and just be ready for their makeup. When I got to this location, if I tell you, this house was huge. It was a very big house, and Fatima's grandmother was living there by herself. This is why we were obviously being hosted there, because the house was big enough. But it was very weird. That was my suspicion number 1. Like, why are you living alone in such a big house? Why not move to a smaller house? Anyway, I guess it's rich people doing rich people things. This house was so beautiful, and it's in one of the high class areas of Lusaka. So obviously you know this is a high profile grandmother. So immediately I got there, my driver dropped me off. This is 10 p.m. Remember, grandma comes to the door, she welcomes me. Since it's 10 p.m, everyone is already asleep, so she points me to the room that all the 8 girls are sleeping, including herself. So we are in this one room, the 10 of us, grandma, the bride, and every one of us. Since this is late, when I enter the house, most of it is dark. She shows me to the room. Nothing feels weird, but you know when you enter a place and your energy just doesn't match. But anyway, I just took it. It's the same weird feeling I was feeling that day. I just decided to ignore it and just do my work. I comforted myself to say, you know what, this is just a few hours. Immediately I'm done, I will leave. Also, another important detail is that when grandma opened the door for me, remember this is 10 p.m. first of all, the first thing she does is she offers me wine and a shot. But I'm here for work. It does not make sense that I should start taking any substances. I didn't want anything to interfere with my work. I take my work very seriously. And what do you mean I just met you at the door, you're offering me wine and a shot? Anyway, for me, she just seemed like a very nice woman. Though everyone was calling her grandma, that woman could have easily been just in her early 40s or even her late 30s. Anyway, whatever her age is, the point is she's not even that old. Once I'm settled, because it's not yet time for the booking, I choose to take a nap for a few minutes, and then I set an alarm for exactly 24, which is the time that I'm supposed to start working. At this point, some of the girls are also getting ready, bathing in advance. 2 have already bathed actually, so it's just waiting for time so that we start the work. Now, immediately I'm in my sleep. This is when everything weird starts to go on, because I'm thinking I'm tripping, but I'm hearing sounds, and it sounds like someone is chanting something. If you've watched a Nigerian movie, those chants that you would hear the witch doctors do, it's exactly what I was hearing. But you know, again, I didn't trust my instinct. I was just thinking, it's just me having a bad feeling, nothing is going on. We're 10 people in this room at this point. How could something be going on like that and no one else is hearing it but me? For a minute I thought I was hallucinating, until it became louder and louder. Like, it's not possible that you were in the same room with someone else and you didn't hear this sound. It was at this minute I just chose to look around and see if everyone is hearing what I'm hearing. And just like I thought, even the bridesmaids were in panic. I wasn't the only one who had heard this sound because it was loud enough for all of us to hear. The only person who wasn't panicking somehow was Grandma. So obviously she's the oldest lady in this room. We choose, you know what, we're the younger ones, let's check out what's going on. And one of the bridesmaids is just about to open the window and Grandma says, do not open that window, sit down. Immediately she stops us from opening the window. She now joins the chants and they're very loud, like there's no secret here. She's chanting, we're hearing chanting outside. Everyone is just in confusion of what's going on. She went ahead and told us some BS to say this is her granddaughter's wedding. There's nothing she could do today, but whatever was going on just had to happen. Remember, at this point, the person who recommended me was not at this house. It was just her cousin. So I know no one who's in this room. I don't even know who to suspect at this point. Does it mean Grandma is the only one in these rituals or everyone else is just playing along? Anyway, luckily I could see the other bridesmaids becoming very, very restless. Then the Grandma tells them to say, just sit down, don't start shouting, because at this point, you know us girls, the bridesmaids are shouting, everyone is screaming, and then they're also saying they'll tell their parents because this is their grandma, so obviously they know each other. And then she's just telling them, all of you just shut up, let me talk to the people outside, otherwise you get them upset. At this point, I'm shaking in my boots because what do you mean we'll get them upset? Who's even them? Since she said she was going to talk to them, of course she did start talking, not the normal language that all of us are able to understand. She still continued with her chants, this time becoming more and more weird. After some time, everything came to some quiet and there was this sudden tranquility. Not really tranquility, there was just a weird sudden quiet in the room. Bear in mind, at this point, this has been going on for a while, but I'm not on my phone, but all I know is that just after everything quiets down, she opens her wardrobe and there's a big statue of Mother Mary. Now, I'm aware that in other religions or denominations, Mother Mary is a very respected figure, but it was weird that this statue was so big and what had happened just happened a few minutes ago. Like literally a few seconds, immediately everything quiets down is when she opened the wardrobe. So what's the connection? Anyway, while the wardrobe and statue situation is going on, my alarm goes off and this tells me it's time to start working, but for me, it's time to go home. Honestly, at this point, I was so ready to go home. You couldn't convince me to stay. But after seeing the bride crying to say this is her day, regardless of what happens, let me just work, I honestly felt bad and decided to stay. But as I was getting my work done, I made sure to call my driver to come and wait for me so that immediately I was done here without spending even another second, I would leave. And if I tell you that's the worst makeup I've ever done, I even feel bad for the bride because she was the bride of the day, but I was shaking. I couldn't have done better. And as soon as I was done, I was out of that door like I was never in the house. Anyway, after I had left, I started seeing calls from Fatima, but I wasn't picking because I didn't want to be associated with that place. And like the grandma said, she even warned her own grandchildren not to tell their parents. Who am I to even tell the story to anyone else? Anyway, no matter how much Fatima called, I did not pick up. I did not want to be associated with that place or even Fatima herself, because at this point I was still wondering, like, were the people in that place all involved, or it was just their grandmother and everyone just tried to play like they are freaked out so that I wouldn't suspect anything? Or maybe it's because everyone else was just as freaked out as I was. Anyway, funny thing is, a few months later, I ended up seeing this woman, Grandma, on Facebook, and people were saying, I tap into your blessings. People were asking them to pray for her. People were just saying she inspires them. And then I was just thinking in that moment that you cannot tell me this is the same woman that was in that room chanting that day. This very much happened in Zambia. Anyway, I decided to eventually answer Fatima's call just to tell her never to call me and that I wanted nothing to do with her and her entire family. Of course, Fatima has taken time to apologize. I don't blame her, and I think the people who were in that place also didn't know that Grandma was into these types of things, so I do not blame anyone. And I know deep down that these people did not set me up, it's just the grandma that's weird. But still, I have decided to distance myself from that family. I do not blame my friend Fatima. She just tried to recommend me for a job, which I'm grateful for, but we just can't be friends anymore. So you guys, this is a story from our good sis who's an alien. This is my take on it. I don't think our good sis was wrong for staying, because I think it would have been more risky for her trying to leave, especially in such a situation. Maybe something bad would have happened to her. Bear in mind, it has also been 2 years since this happened. She's very much comfortable with sharing the story now, and nothing weird has ever happened to her since. She's still very much safe. So I think staying in that situation was the best option she had. Anyway, let me know what you guys think. But from me to you, as always, love you, bye.